Hello again, everybody. I'm on fire today. They're doing lots of stuff. I had a few more downloads from God. But in the last video, I was talking about this analogy of the web of Opus Dei that's completely immobilized the church structure, the Catholic Church structure at the center. That's the fly at the center of the web that looks wonderful and seems to be united with the web, and it is, but it's trapped, immobilized, can't do anything for anybody. Okay. Um, So, and then on the outside, you've got bees, okay? And we bees, the free ones, can be annoyed and trying to help everybody, and especially get the church, the fly in the center, to do something about the web, but they can't, okay? So I'm suggesting that we bees just enjoy ourselves and do what we like. We're the musicians, the performers, the doctors, the nurses, all the people that serve, that give joy to others, or do something special and unusual. The mystics, though, maybe some lawyers, policemen that are fighting for justice. Anyway, these are the righteous people. Um, so there's two more types of people I haven't talked about yet, and the sad one to get that out of the way first is the parts of the web of Opus Dei that are dead wood. They're just dead. They can't. There's nothing you can do for them in this life. Okay, they're being. They still have a role. They still look important because they've got people around them that somehow keep them together. So the people around them are the ones in Opus Dei who've got a shred of humanity still. Okay, and the dead was just leeching off them. Okay, to try and or just keeping using the structure they apply. But unfortunately, Deadwood became dead because um, they lost their souls, they lost their humanity by controlling people week after week, year after year, sitting in council meetings of Opus Dei, having conversations, basically to ensnare, to trap, to control people, to get them to be in Opus Dei and to stay in Opus Dei. Okay, and many of them would have started off good people. There's probably a few bad actors that came into this world really bad and got worse, but most people would have started with a mixture of good or bad in that situation. But that power went to their head, and the system relentlessly corrupted them to the point where there's nothing left to redeem them. And that's what Jesus talked about when he said that it's better for people like that to throw themselves into the sea with a millstone round their necks. That's in the Gospels. It's those people, and I personally believe that those people have chances in future lives. Okay, because I don't believe in eternal hell. Um, yeah, I'll go on to that another time. But there's nothing that can be done for that dead wood. It's dead, and you can't resurrect dead. You can't bring it to life. You just have to try and get everybody else away from it. Um, so, so that's really sad. The dead wood. Okay. But if you get enough people away, then it starts to fall down. Um, and then you've got another group of people who are free, and they're like the bees, but they're not. They're wasps. Okay. So they're buzzing around the outside, enjoying life to some extent, having some nice time to some extent, but then getting themselves snared up in different things, annoying each other, annoying everybody, and having a bit of a miserable life. So they're the they're the people the bureaucrats, okay, the people who have remits that say, sorry, I can't help because I can only do this, that, and the other. You know, that's living a semi-selfish life, so half useful, half selfish. Um, and and those are people that can be useful for the bees, okay? The bees. And how is that? Okay, well, there's a certain type of bee who's good at noticing, who enjoys actually the idea of busting out some some more flies in the web. Okay, so there are some people of Opus Dei who aren't very easy to see. Okay, and it's the job of I call them destructor bees. Okay, to see those flies. Okay, to see those jewels, those gems, those good souls who are shepherds. Okay, see them and bust them out in precision strikes. Okay, they might be more towards the center or more towards the outer layers. So they're not they're not the kind of people that the rest of them was trying to help. I was saying yes in the other video that most of the bees are interested in helping people in the outer levels. Okay, but these destructor bees have got that passion for busting out the flies, the jewels in the further into the web. Okay, and I can only think of one I know of at the moment. Um, and but how do you do that? Okay, well you need help. Okay, and so in my efforts to help somebody, I'm making an absolute utter nuisance of myself to trying with some wasps, okay, um, to get them out, to get them working, okay. So they might be annoyed with me because I'm doing trying to get them to do things and wasting their time, as it seems, on stuff when they should be doing other things. But that other stuff's not that valuable anyway. The modern world, the corporate world, there's so much time spent wasting anyway that it's a service to the wasps, the annoying types of bees, to actually force them to do something good until such time as they realize it off their own free will that it's more enjoyable to do good things than selfish things. Okay, and so they in this magical creature world, the wasps can turn into bees eventually if they start to realize um that it's better off being bossed around. I've got this I've got this campaign at the moment, mini campaign against a letting agent. Okay, so letting agents, I think, big. It's a big letting agent where I live, and they just relentlessly disrespect me. Okay, absolutely relentlessly, and I just won't take it for 1 second. Every time I get something where I'm told what to do by a bureaucrat in that organization, I'm just gonna hit back. Okay, because I can't afford to be disrespected, and I've got the energy and the time and actually to let them boss me around would actually really impede my ability to help other people, even though they're exhausting me. I need to really hit back, and so I've sued them twice for different things, got money from them. I thought things were going better the last few months, but no, I got told what to do again the other day. So I'm absolutely on in this complete tussle with these letting agents who are just petty bureaucrats that can't see how to deal with people for humanity. I'm not saying that about all letting agents, but so it's this corporate, rigid, impersonal approach. And you're talking about people who are mostly wasps, okay? And I've got to the point where, with that letting agent, I've said, you know what? I'm not going to deal with any of you more wasps. I'm fed up with you, okay? I blocked them all, all the ones that I said, and I said, here's my number. I want somebody to text me who's willing to pick up the phone and speak to me like a human being. Okay, so I'm hoping that might produce a bee, a bee in that situation to really help me. Okay, and to stop wasting and exhausting me and trying to relentlessly disrespect me and treat me like a piece of shit they're so used to. This agency is so awful that the student union in my area won't recommend them. So, but it's honestly it's so difficult getting any sense out of these people. That's all. It's just awful. So anyway, I might send this in video to another office of that franchise to see what they can suggest. Anyway, you've got the idea. So in my world, there's a certain kind of bee that can see other flies in the web. Okay, that aren't so easy to see for everybody else who's doing other things. And it's our interest, it's our passion to get the wasps to help to bust these people out. So if that helps people to see how I operate a bit more, then I thank you for listening.